Welcome back to the AI Coach by Anil Nathu. We're taking a deep dive into the 2024 AI landscape, using some pretty interesting guides, Gartner's Hype Cycle and Priority Matrix. These tools, well, they kind of help us see, where different AI technologies stand. Like, are they just emerging? Are they all hype? Or are they really making an impact on businesses?
Yeah, the hype cycle is really insightful. It shows us this pattern that keeps popping up. So you have this new technology, right? And it creates all this buzz and excitement. But often the initial hype, well, it's bigger than what the technology can actually do at that point.
Yeah, it's like that shiny new toy thing. Everyone gets super excited about the possibilities,
Mhm.
but the reality isn't quite there yet.
Exactly. That's when we see the trough of disillusionment on the hype cycle. The interest drops off, the limitations become clear, but then as the tech matures and finds its footing, it climbs the slope of enlightenment and eventually it hits the plateau of productivity.
Yeah.
That's where it gets widely adopted and actually delivers real value.
And that's where the priority matrix comes in. Helps us cut through all the noise and see which technologies are actually worth our time and energy based on, how beneficial they could be and how soon they'll become mainstream.
Exactly. And looking at this year's priority matrix, we see some pretty interesting trends popping up. Several AI technologies are actually predicted to be mainstream in less than 2 years, and these have the potential to be real game changers. Like one of them is composite AI.
Composite AI. Sounds pretty cool. Could you break that down a bit more for our listeners on the AI Coach by Anil Nathu?
Sure, think of it like building a dream team of different AI techniques. You're combining the strengths of each. Imagine, for instance, you're combining machine learning, which is great at pattern recognition, with reinforcement learning, which is great at decision making. You can see how powerful this could be for something like, say, a self-driving car, where the AI needs to perceive its surroundings and then make decisions in real time. Gartner actually predicts that composite AI will become the standard approach for AI development within the next 2 years.
So it's a more like integrated and sophisticated approach to AI. It makes me wonder though, what are the limitations of just using a single AI method that, the composite AI is trying to get over?
Well, one limitation is that a single AI method might be really good at one specific task, but struggle with others. So by combining different methods, you create a more robust and adaptable system.
Mm.
Like, for example, in healthcare, you could combine computer vision for analyzing medical images with natural language processing for understanding patient records.
Yeah, that makes sense. And we're already seeing the impact of computer vision, right? In our smartphones and other devices.
Absolutely. Computer vision is already transforming industries. From healthcare to retail, it's analyzing medical images, enhancing customer experiences in retail, and even automating tasks in manufacturing. But it goes beyond that. Imagine combining computer vision with other AI techniques to create even more sophisticated applications.
Yeah, you mentioned that dream team of AI earlier. It really feels like we're just starting to explore the possibilities with these combinations.
Absolutely, and that's what makes this such an exciting time to be involved in AI. We're seeing these technologies evolve so rapidly, and the potential applications, they're just expanding every day. Speaking of rapid evolution, the priority matrix also highlights generative AI as a major trend.
Oh yeah, generative AI. I remember when that was all over the news, generating all those wild images and text. Where does that stand now?
Generative AI definitely went through that period of inflated expectations, but it's starting to find its true potential in different industries. It's not just about generating funny pictures or silly poems anymore. It's about AI that can actually create new content, strategies, and designs. We're seeing it used to create realistic product prototypes, design entire marketing campaigns, even accelerate drug discovery.
Wow, so generative AI is moving beyond the hype and
Right.
into the real world. Are there any concerns about, how it's being used though?
Yeah, there are always ethical considerations with powerful technologies like generative AI. It's important to address concerns about things like deepfakes and misinformation. But the potential benefits are significant, and honestly, we're only scratching the surface of what's possible.
That's a really good point. It reminds me of a conversation we had on the AI Coach by Anil Nathu a while back about AI for good. It's crucial to think about the ethical side as these technologies evolve. But moving on, are there any other AI technologies on the horizon we should be paying attention to?
Oh, absolutely. There are a lot of other exciting developments. The priority matrix shows that technologies like decision intelligence and embodied AI will likely become mainstream within the next 2 to 5 years, and they're going to be big.
Decision intelligence.
Yeah.
It sounds like something that could really help businesses make smarter choices.
Yeah, that's exactly what it's about. Decision intelligence brings structure and transparency to how organizations make decisions. It combines data, AI, and human expertise. to help them make better, faster decisions. Think about a company struggling with a complex supply chain issue. Decision intelligence can analyze huge amounts of data, identify potential bottlenecks, and then suggest the best solutions.
That sounds like a game changer for businesses, especially those struggling with data overload and complex decision making.
Exactly. And then we have embodied AI, which is about bringing AI into the physical world. So think robots helping patients in hospitals, AI-powered avatars handling customer service, or even robots working alongside humans on construction sites.
Wow, so embodied AI is about moving beyond these abstract models to AI that can actually interact and act in the real world. That's pretty amazing.
It is, and it has the potential to transform a ton of industries, from healthcare to manufacturing to retail and entertainment.
It sounds like we've just scratched the surface here, and I'm already a little overwhelmed by all the possibilities.
Yeah, it can be a lot to take in, but the key is to focus on the technologies that are most relevant to you and your goals. That's where the AI Coach by Anil Nathu comes in.
Right, we offer a lot of resources and insights to help people understand and navigate this crazy AI landscape.
Exactly. The AI world is moving fast. But if you break it down and focus on what matters most to you, you can start to see the incredible potential of these technologies.
We've covered a lot of ground today, but we've only just begun exploring these trends.
That's right. We'll be diving into some even more mind-blowing AI trends in the next part of our AI Coach by Anil Nathu Deep Dive. So stay tuned. Welcome back to the AI Coach by Anil Nathu. In part one, we talked about some of the AI technologies that are like right around the corner, expected to be mainstream pretty soon. But now let's look further out. The technologies that could really shake things up in the next 5 to 10 years, maybe even longer.
I'm ready. Hit me with the mind-blowing stuff.
Okay, one that's getting a lot of attention is neuromorphic computing. It's basically taking inspiration from the human brain to design AI systems that are way more efficient, adaptable, and use way less power.
So instead of our usual computer chips, we're talking about chips that are designed like our brains. That sounds like something straight out of science fiction.
It does, right? But it's a field that's moving really fast. Imagine AI that can process information as quickly and efficiently as our brains. This could revolutionize things like edge computing, where devices need to make decisions in real time without having to rely on the cloud.
Right. You'd need a different kind of chip for that.
Yep.
To handle that level of processing power on the edge, what other benefits does neuromorphic computing offer?
Well, one of the biggest advantages is energy efficiency. Neuromorphic chips use way less power than traditional chips, which is super important for mobile devices and other applications where battery life is, limited. They're also really good at things like pattern recognition and signal processing, which makes them perfect for tasks like image and speech recognition.
And we can't forget about autonomous vehicles. It seems like they've been just around the corner for a while now. Where do they stand on the hype cycle?
Yeah, autonomous vehicles are still in that 5 to 10 year time frame. We've made a lot of progress. But widespread adoption, it's still facing some big hurdles.
Like what? What's holding them back?
A few key things. Safety regulations, for one. Governments need to create clear rules for testing and deploying self-driving cars. And then there's public perception. People need to feel confident that these vehicles are safe before they'll actually be willing to ride in them.
Right. It's one thing to have the technology, but you also need to have the public's trust. What about the technical challenges?
Those are big too. Creating AI that can navigate the real world with all its unpredictable variables like the weather, traffic, people walking around, other cars, it's super complex. To create AI that can make split-second decisions in those situations.
And they have to make the right decisions. The stakes are pretty high.
Absolutely. Safety is the top priority. But even beyond the technical stuff, there are ethical and societal questions we need to consider. Like, as robots become more common in our workplaces and homes, what happens to human jobs? What happens to social interactions?
It's definitely important to think about those things now.
Yeah.
As this technology keeps developing.
I agree. It's a reminder that AI isn't just about the technology itself. It's about how we use that technology to shape our world and our future.
That's a good point. Now, let's get even more futuristic. One technology that always seems to fascinate people, and maybe even scare them a little, is quantum AI.
Yeah, quantum AI, it's definitely a mind-bending concept, and it's still in those really early research stages, but the potential is huge. It's basically using quantum computers, which work completely differently than our regular computers, to supercharge AI.
So how does a quantum computer work? What makes it so different?
It's kind of hard to explain simply, but basically, regular computers use bits, which can be either a 0 or a 1. Quantum computers use qubits, which can be both 0 and 1 at the same time. It's called superposition, and it allows quantum computers to do calculations at speeds that are impossible for normal computers. Imagine solving problems that would take a normal computer billions of years in just a few minutes.
That's crazy. So how would this quantum computing power be used with AI?
There are so many possibilities, but it's really early days. We're talking about AI that could analyze super complex data, speed up drug discovery, design completely new materials, maybe even break some of the toughest encryption out there.
That's both exciting and kind of scary. What would it mean to have that much computing power?
That's where things get complicated. Quantum AI is so powerful that it brings up a whole bunch of ethical questions. We need to think about how to use this technology responsibly and make sure it benefits everyone.
So even though quantum AI is still far off, it's important to start having those conversations now. It's a reminder that every new technology comes with the responsibility to use it wisely.
Exactly. Now let's come back down to earth a bit and talk about a trend that's a little closer to reality. First principles AI.
First principles AI, that's a new one. What's that all about?
So first principles AI combines the power of AI with the fundamental laws of physics and knowledge from specific fields. It's like teaching AI to think like a scientist, using logic and reasoning to understand the world.
So instead of relying on tons of data, First Principles AI actually uses scientific knowledge in its models.
Exactly. Think about it this way. Traditional AI, especially machine learning, it often relies on finding patterns in data, even if it doesn't really understand why those patterns exist.
So it's kind of like a black box. You get the results, but you don't always know how the AI got there.
Right. First principles AI tries to understand the why behind the what. It uses scientific knowledge in the models, which makes them more adaptable and reliable, especially in complex and changing environments.
Can you give me an example? How would this be used?
Sure. Imagine using first principles AI to design a new material, instead of just crunching numbers from a database. The AI would also consider the laws of physics and chemistry, the ones that govern how atoms actually interact. This would allow it to design materials with very specific properties, maybe leading to breakthroughs in things like energy storage or aerospace engineering.
That's fascinating. It seems like a much more powerful approach than just using data alone. Are there other areas where First Principles AI could be useful?
Oh, absolutely. It's really valuable in fields like engineering, healthcare, environmental science. Fields where understanding the basic principles is crucial for making accurate predictions and designing effective solutions.
It makes you wonder how much we're missing out on by not incorporating this deeper level of understanding into our current AI systems.
It's definitely an exciting area of research, and I think we'll see first principles AI becoming more and more important in the next few years.
Now let's talk about embodied AI. We touched on it earlier, but I'm still not quite clear on what it is and what its real-world impact might be.
So embodied AI takes us beyond those disembodied AI models, the ones that just exist in the digital world. It's about creating AI agents that can interact with the physical world. These agents can perceive their surroundings, make decisions, and take actions in real time.
So we're talking about robots, like the ones we see in movies.
Robots are definitely part of it, but embodied AI is broader than that. It also includes things like virtual avatars, smart devices, even self-driving cars. It's any AI that's not just thinking, but also acting in the real world.
Can you give me some real-world examples
Yeah.
of how this is being used or could be used?
Sure. Imagine robots assisting surgeons during complex surgeries, AI-powered assistants providing personalized guidance in stores, or even virtual characters in video games that learn and adapt to how you play.
That last one sounds pretty cool. I can see how that would make video games a lot more immersive and challenging. What are some of the challenges in developing embodied AI?
One of the biggest challenges is creating AI that can function effectively in a world that's constantly changing and often unpredictable. Think about all the things a self-driving car has to deal with. Traffic, weather, pedestrians, other cars. It's a huge computational challenge to create AI that can make safe decisions in a split second.
And the AI has to make the right decisions. The stakes are really high.
Exactly. Safety is paramount. But beyond the technical challenges, there are also ethical and societal implications to think about. Like, as robots become more integrated into our lives, what does that mean for human jobs, for social interactions?
We definitely need to have those conversations as this technology keeps evolving.
I agree. It reminds us that AI is not just about the technology. It's about how we use that technology to shape our world.
Absolutely. Speaking of shaping our world, let's move on to another technology. It's essential for a lot of AI applications. Knowledge graphs. I have a general idea of what they are, but could you explain it for our listeners on The AI Coach by Anil Nathu?
Sure. Knowledge graphs are basically a way to organize information so that machines can understand it. Think of it like a massive network of interconnected concepts and entities, kind of like a map of knowledge.
So instead of just having a bunch of random data points, you're connecting them in a way that gives them meaning and context.
Exactly. Each thing in a knowledge graph is called a node, and each relationship between those things is called an edge. This allows AI systems to understand not just what things are, but also how they're related to each other.
Can you give me some examples of how knowledge graphs are being used in the real world?
Yeah, definitely. They're used a lot in search engines to understand what people are really searching for and provide more relevant results. They're also used in chatbots to give them background information and context so the conversations feel more natural and informative.
That makes sense. It's like giving the AI a deeper understanding of the world so it can give better answers.
Right. And we're seeing knowledge graphs being used in more and more applications, like recommendation systems, fraud detection, drug discovery.
It sounds like knowledge graphs are becoming even more important as AI systems get more complex.
They definitely are. As AI becomes more integrated into our lives, we need ways to make sure it's using the right information and that it really understands what it's doing. Knowledge graphs are a really powerful tool for that.
This has been a fascinating look at some of the technologies shaping the future of AI. But I have to admit, it's a lot to process.
It is. But remember, you don't need to be an expert in all of these technologies. The important thing is to focus on the ones that matter most to you and your goals.
That's great advice. Speaking of goals, are there any AI trends that could really help businesses, achieve their objectives?
Absolutely. And that's what we'll be exploring in the final part of our AI Coach by Anil Nathu Deep Dive. So stay tuned.
Welcome back to the AI Coach by Anil Nathu. In parts 1 and 2, we went through some pretty amazing AI trends, from brain-inspired chips to the potential of quantum computing. But now, let's focus on the AI that's already making a real difference for businesses, like the stuff they can use right now.
Yeah, that's a great point. It's exciting to look at the future of AI and all that, but there's a lot happening right now that can give businesses a competitive edge. One area that's just full of opportunities is cloud AI services.
Cloud AI services. I hear that term everywhere these days. Can you explain it to our listeners who might not be familiar?
Sure, basically cloud AI services are AI tools and platforms that are delivered over the internet through the cloud. So businesses can access these powerful AI capabilities without having to build and manage their own AI infrastructure, which can be really expensive.
So it's like renting AI instead of buying it.
That's a great way to put it. And it's a total game changer for businesses of all sizes. In the past, only huge companies with tons of money could really invest in AI. But now, with cloud AI services, even small startups can access some really advanced AI tools.
That's amazing. So what kinds of things can cloud AI services do?
Oh, the possibilities are huge. And they're always expanding. You have machine learning platforms for building predictive models, natural language processing tools for analyzing text and speech, computer vision services for images and video, even generative AI tools for creating new content.
Wow, that's quite a lot. Seems like there's a cloud AI service for just about everything.
Pretty much, that's what makes it so exciting. The barriers to entry for AI are lower than ever before.
And speaking of breaking down barriers,
Yeah.
the Hype cycle also mentions model ops as a key trend. For businesses that want to use and manage AI effectively, what exactly is model ops? And how does it help?
So model ops is short for model operations. It's all about managing the life cycle of AI models. You can think of it like DevOps for AI. It's about streamlining the process of developing, deploying, and monitoring AI models to make sure they're actually working as they should and delivering real value for the business.
So it's not just about building the models. It's about making sure they're running smoothly, integrated well, delivering results.
Exactly. And this is where a lot of companies struggle. They might have amazing data scientists who can build really impressive AI models, but they don't have the systems or tools in place to manage those models effectively in the real world.
Right, that makes sense. It's like having a super fast race car, but no pit crew.
Exactly. Model Ops is like the pit crew for AI. It brings structure and discipline to the process, helping businesses get their AI solutions out there faster, improve how well the models perform, and reduce risk.
So it's about bringing an engineering mindset to AI.
Absolutely. It's about treating AI models as critical pieces of software that
Yeah.
need to be managed and maintained carefully.
Okay, I get it. Now let's shift gears a bit and talk about generative AI. We touched on it earlier, but I'd love to explore its potential for businesses in more detail.
Yeah, generative AI is definitely one of the most exciting areas in AI right now. It's the ability for AI to create new content, things like text, images, audio, video, even code. Basically anything that can be digital.
So it's not just about AI analyzing or understanding stuff that already exists. It's AI that can create totally original content.
Exactly. And this has huge potential for businesses. Imagine marketing teams using generative AI to create really engaging ad copy or social media posts, product designers using it to come up with new product ideas, software developers using it to write code more efficiently.
Wow, it sounds like generative AI could really boost creativity and productivity.
It definitely could. It's also being used in more specific areas like drug discovery. Researchers are using generative AI to design new molecules with specific properties.
That's incredible. It seems like the only limit with generative AI is our imagination.
In a way, yes. But it's important to remember that it's still a pretty new technology. There are challenges to overcome,
Hmm.
especially when it comes to making sure the content it creates is high quality and that it's used ethically.
Right, there's been a lot of talk about the potential for misuse, things like deepfakes and spreading misinformation. We have to use these powerful tools responsibly.
Absolutely. Responsible AI development should be a top priority for anyone working with these technologies.
Okay, let's switch gears again. Let's talk about a technology that's really pushing the limits of AI hardware, neuromorphic computing.
Yeah, it sounds like something from a sci-fi movie, but it's based on a really powerful idea, taking inspiration from the human brain to design AI hardware that's more efficient and adaptable.
So instead of our typical computer chips, we're talking about chips that are designed like neurons and synapses.
Exactly. Neuromorphic chips are designed to process information in a way that's similar to how our brains work. They use these spikes of electrical activity to represent and process data, which allows them to do complex tasks like pattern recognition and signal processing really quickly and efficiently.
Wow. What kinds of things could we use neuromorphic computing for?
Oh, there are so many possibilities. Imagine robots that can learn and adapt to new environments, or AI systems that can understand human emotions.
It sounds like neuromorphic computing could really change the game for AI.
It has that potential. It's still a new field,
Yeah.
but it's attracting a lot of attention and investment.
Well, we've covered a lot today. We've explored a whole bunch of exciting AI trends, and it's clear that AI is not just some futuristic idea anymore. It's already transforming businesses and industries all over the world.
That's right, and things are only going to get more exciting from here.
Absolutely. Thank you for joining us on the AI Coach by Anil Nethu. Be sure to visit our website for more AI insights from Anil. And until next time, keep exploring the amazing world of AI.